Hi everybody, I'm back to share with you guys the paper bag album I told you I was going to come back and show you guys how to make. Now I went ahead and did like a lot of my inserts already, so we'll do like one together. I went ahead and made most of my tags and I made most of these inserts here. And what we'll do is we'll make one together. I'll give you all the measurements, tell you how many you need. And then that way, I'm not taking up a whole lot of your time with you just sitting here watching me cover the paper bags. Also, we're going to cover the front cover and like 2 pages, maybe 3. And then the rest of my pages are already covered. So what I'll do is I'll go ahead and say, okay, you need this many of this size mat, this many of this size mat. And that way you could just write it down or pause the video and, you know, take your time, do it however you'd like. And it's a pretty simple, self-explanatory album, so I don't think we'll have too much of a problem today. So let's get right into it, get this party started. Today I'm using the In Bloom paper stock from the Paper Studio. Got it at Hobby Lobby. And it does have some foil sheets. It has beautiful floral paper, pinks and black and mint green. It's just really, really pretty. So this is the paper pad that I'm using. And the bags that I got, I purchased these at Hobby Lobby as well. And I love these paper bags because I think they come in a pack of 12. So you can end up with 2 albums from 1 pack. And they measure 5 inches across by 10 inches. We're going to cut it down to 8 inches. And you're going to need 6 paper bags. So you want to line it up. You see where the bottom part of the bag is? You want to line that up at the 8-inch mark. And you just want to cut this little piece off. And you can get rid of that. So all of your bags need to be 8 by 5. Okay? So you're going to need 6 paper bags. And oh, the reason why I really love them is because these are nice, sturdy paper bags. They're not like the cheaper lunch bags that you buy at the grocery store that sometimes you have to iron because they're all wonky and stuff. So these are really nice, sturdy paper bags. And I think you could pick pretty nice, sturdy bags up at Michael's as well. But I just end up purchasing mine at Hobby Lobby. Okay, so you're going to need 6 bags at 8 by 5. So cut down your 6 bags. And then let me take this away. And like I said, I already have some of my bags covered. But we're going to cover, and I'm going to give you the measurements for everything once we get started. Okay, so let me take my first cover piece off here. And I did tell you that I put a stopper inside my bags because the photo mats that we're going to be making, that we're going to put in them, these inserts here, I did not want them. This is a bag I just cut. There's no stopper in it. And it'll go, I'm sorry, all the way down to the bottom. And I didn't want that. And I didn't want to make an 8-inch mat to fit inside. So I put a stopper inside my bags, and then that way they'll only go down so far and stick out. So this is how I did my stopper. Okay. There's a center line on the bag in here. This is the bottom of the bag if you open it up. On the inside of the bottom of the bag, in the middle, you're going to take a piece of double-sided tape. Let me find my scissors here. Just going to cut a piece off. And this is not the entire length of the bag. Okay? You're going to be putting this double-sided tape on the inside of the bag in the middle here, on the bottom. So open up your bag. And on the inside, in the bottom there, is where you're going to put this piece of tape. So take your time, look for the middle. And put it in there. And hopefully you can see inside my bag. So I'm going to press that down, and I'm going to pull the tape off, or the piece of paper off. Okay, it's on the inside there, in the middle. And now all I'm going to do is fold my bag back up and press down. Let me set this aside. And just press it down on both sides to make sure you created that stopper. And you could see right here is the stopper on the bag, so that when you make your inserts, they fit in perfect. Okay, so for every bag, every 6 bag, or all 6 of your bags, you're going to put it in the middle on the inside to create your stoppers. Okay, so do all of that first, and then once you have that done, we're going to cover our front page here. Okay, so the front page, your mat for the front page, and you want the pocket to be on the inside. So the front page is the smooth part here. That measures 7 3/4 by 4 3/4 inches. And you're just gonna glue it on or tape it on, whatever adhesive you use. Now for these, I call these the full page mats. So for the full pages, you're gonna need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So you're gonna need 8 mats that measure 7 3/4 by 4 3/4. Let me write that down, because I don't think I ever wrote that down. And I call those the full page mats. Okay, so let's glue it on our front cover here. Our pocket is facing up. And I'm just using liquid glue for most of this. The white photo mats that we're going to be putting in, I'm going to use double-sided tape. Make sure I'm in camera here. Am I in camera? Yeah. Okay, this is going to be my front cover. Let me put my pin on my magnet before I end up losing that. Okay, so we already created our front cover, and you're going to decorate this however you like. I just used some dies for mine, some stickers, some flowers, a couple of leaves to create my front cover. Okay, but you guys are going to decorate yours however you'd like. Okay, so this is our front page. You're going to flip your bag over, and on this side we're going to create a pocket with this piece here. So we're going to cover, we're going to put a mat here, and we're going to put a pocket mat here. And I'm going to go ahead and tell you how many pocket mats you're going to need, and how many, I call them kind of half pages, or a partial page. The partial pages that you're going to need to go under your pocket and then your pocket mat. So for these half pages, which I call them, you're going to need 1, 2, 3. You're going to need 4 of those. 4 of these that measure 5 1/2 by 4 3/4. Again, you're going to need 4 of these that measure 5 1/2 by 4 3/4. I'm going to add some glue to that. And I'm going to be sliding it underneath this pocket here. I just want to line it up. Sorry, let me move that over. And I measured it this way so that it kind of goes underneath in here a little bit. I like it like that because when they put a tag or a pocket, they can still see some of this decorative paper, and they're not going to see like a brown paper bag right here. And that's why I did those measurements. Run your bone folder over it. Okay, so now I want to glue this pocket down. I use hot glue. You can use whatever adhesive you like. I would use liquid glue, hot glue. Sometimes when you use double-sided tape, the tags and the mats that you put in sometimes stick to the sides. So that's one reason why I either use liquid glue or hot glue, but it's personal preference. You can use whatever you'd like. I'm just going to put a small sliver running up the side of this pocket here and the side here. And I'm going to glue that down. And I'll run my bone folder over it. Make sure it's sealed real nice. Okay. And now we've created our pocket. Super easy, right? Now we're going to want to mat that pocket. And if I'm not mistaken, you'll need 4 of these as well. 1, 2, 3, yes, 4. So you're going to need 4 pocket mats, and those measure 4 3/4 by 2 7/8, and you'll need 4 of them. Again, 4 3/4 by 2 7/8, and I just call those my pocket mats. I'm going to mat our pocket. Run our bone folder over it. Okay, so your next page is going to be a full page, and you're going to want it blank on this side because when you flip it, you're going to want, let me make sure, yes, blank on this side, and then when you flip it, we're going to actually glue this pocket down and put another full page. Okay? So you're going to need another one of those full pages, and I gave you the measurements already, which is 7 3/4, 7 3/4 inches high by 4 3/4 wide, and like I said, you'll need 8 of those. Let me just move this. Now when you want to do a full page on here, I always just glue this down. So I'm just going to take some liquid glue and put it around this piece of the paper bag and glue that down. And we're going to put a full page on this side as well. And this paper, I think this paper is so beautiful. I love it. Run my bone folder over it. Make sure that's nice and adhered down. Okay, so far we have our front cover. We made our pocket page here for our insert. We have a full page here. We glued down the paper bag pocket and made another full page here. So this page is going to be your pocket page. So again, you're going to glue your pocket on the side. Well, you're going to mat your paper bag, glue your pockets on the sides, and then mat your pocket, which I gave you the measurements. Then our next page is a full page. again another full page, and then this side we're going to create a pocket. So make sure when you have your paper bags, you already have a pocket page here. So it's going to look like this. We're flipping it to our full page. And then when you go to mat this page, have your paper bag facing this way so that when you turn it, you end up with another paper bag that you're going to do a pocket with. Again, mat the top, glue the pocket, mat the pocket. Then you're going to have another full page on this side. And then you're going to flip it and you're going to glue down the pocket like I showed you. And you're going to have another full page on this side. And then this is your back paper bag. So your 6 paper bag, you want it facing this way. So you can mat the top, glue the sides, and mat your pocket. And then when you flip it around, it should look like this so that you can add your full page. Okay? Every pocket is facing up for the inserts. So once you get your whole paper bag covered, all of your paper bags, we're going to want to put the holes in it so that we can add our rings. Let me get out my rings. Okay. I just get my rings at, you can get these at the Dollar Tree. You can get them at like 1 inch. I think they even have some larger ones like this. And they're actually really decent. Watch out, kitty cat. Get going. Get going. Okay. We're just using a binder rings for these. Okay. So what I do is I'm going to set this aside. It's going to look like this. I'm going to get out my hole puncher. And I'm going to show you on here. I'm going to go up about 1 inch, in about 1/4 of an inch, and I'm going to punch a hole. Same thing on this side. I'm going to go in it, down 1 inch, and in about 1/4 of an inch, punch another hole. Now where my thumbs are, that's basically where my holes are going to go. So my 3rd hole, I'm going to want to try to find my center as best as I can. So this is your first paper bag. I'm going to go in 1 inch, about, and move it in approximately 1/4 of an inch, and punch a hole. Same thing down here. I'm going to go in 1 inch. I have to do it this way. In 1 inch, about 1/4 of an inch in, punch a hole. So I have my hole here and my hole here where my fingers are. Now I'm going to want to try and find my center. I eyeball it. You don't have to do that. You can get a ruler and measure from your first hole. You can get yourself a ruler and you can measure from your first hole to where your second hole is, and you can find your center that way. It's entirely up to you. I just like to eyeball it as best I can. And then it's really easy to put your holes in the rest of the bags, because all you're going to do is line it up. The 2 bags, put the 2 bags together and use your top paper bag as your template. Line it up in your hole puncher and punch. Okay, so our first page is done. I'm going to put that aside. I'm going to use this paper bag and line it up with the next paper bag and punch my holes using my top bag as my template. put this paper bag aside, grab your next one, do the same thing. Line it up and punch your holes. You could do a ribbon closure instead of, if you don't like the binder rings. And I think I have a tutorial on how to do a ribbon one. And if I can find it, I will post a link below to that. If you'd like to use ribbon instead of using these, you could do that. And I think my next album, I'm going to do a folio for you guys. Okay, this one. And we're going to put holes in our last bag. Line it up where you want it, using your top bag as your template. And we're done. We got our holes in. Now at this point, I like to put my binder rings in just to kind of keep the album together so I don't get the pages confused. I'm just going to open those up. And I like to do it from the back. It's been crazy here in southern Florida. We had a tropical storm this past weekend. A lot of places got super flooded, especially down in Miami. And that we didn't hear, which I'm so grateful for. We usually don't because we're further inland, but some places got hit pretty hard. Okay, and then I do my center. Make sure I'm getting all the bags. Okay, now we have our binder rings on. I'm probably going to tie some ribbon to this. I may even do that right now. I have some of this really pretty pink satin Celebrate It ribbon, and this measures 7/8 of an inch wide. So I think I'm just going to measure it out. If you want to know exactly the size ribbon I'm using, it is about 7 inches. And I'm just going to tie that on. And then I'm going to cut a banner cut in it. So you could probably use a lot less than 7 inches. It's all personal preference, what you like. You could tie a bunch of ribbons on here. You could do fun fur. You could do something I love is seam binding. You could tie seam, but I don't have any really nice pink seam binding right now. So I'm just using a simple satin ribbon. Oh, I almost did it. Sometimes when I do the opposite side, I cut it the wrong way. So be careful how you're going to cut yours. And I'll tie one more on. And then we'll get to the pocket, the inserts and the photo mats. And if I see this is coming loose at all, because this is satin, I'll use a little bit of Fabri-Tac in there and then pull it closed really tight. And then I know it's not going to open up. but just for now, so don't take up too much of your time. This one's a little long for me. And then I'll probably heat seal them so that, okay, so I have my ribbons tied, and I'll heat seal these so that they don't fray. And sometimes I go in with this glue. This is the Fabri-Flex, or Fabri-Fix. And so I know these don't open, you know, because over time the knot does come out. I'll just loosen this up a little bit, and I'll go in and I'll put a tiny dot of the Fabri-Fix or Fabri-Tac, whatever you like to use on your ribbons. I'll put a tiny dot on there, and then I'll pull it closed nice and tight. And then I know that's not going to open. It'll stay nice and sealed. I'll just do these two while I'm at it. Just make sure you only get it on the inside though, because you don't want to see any of the glue. So put it on the inside of that knot, and now I'll pull it nice and tight. Same thing with this one. I'll open it back up a little bit. And then right there on that inside, I'm going to put a dot, so you're not going to see it. And then pull it nice and tight. Okay, so I know those aren't coming off. Alright, now we're going to need the inserts for the top. You are going to need 6 of these. I'm using craft cardstock on mine, but you'll need 6 of these. And these are the top loading cardstock insert pages. And these measure 6.5 by 4 1/4. You'll need 6 of those. And then you're going to need a mat for each side. So let me mat this up. Your mats, you're going to need 12 of them. And those measure 6 3/8 by 4 1/8. So 6 of these, 12 of these. Oh, I'm sorry. Before I glue my page on, you're also going to need pull tabs. Now, I used a punch that I have in my stash, and I got that from the Paper Studio. I punched out 6 of these. I ran it through my polka dot embossing folder, and then all I did was I cut them all right in half. And then I layer mine, as you can see here. I have 1 tab in the middle, 1 on the end, 1 on this end, 1 in the middle, oh, that one's wrong, and 1 on this end. So this one is going to start on this side, and I'm going to glue that tab on, just like that. Flip it over, and I'll add glue to this whole piece of this tab here. You could use any kind of punch you want to create your tabs. I also have a video on how to make your own tabs from like your punches, and I'll make sure I add that below as well. Okay, and now we can mat right over that. And then that way you don't see the edge of your tab when it's covered. It covers it up really nice, and you're not going to see that little edge there. Let me get my bone folder. And then go ahead and mat this side. And I'll show you guys the punch that I used. And again, your mats measure 6 3/8 by 4 1/8. You'll need 12 of those. You'll need 6 tabs. And you'll need 6 craft cardstock pages. Okay, so I have one that I have on the left, one in the center, one on the right, one on the left, one in the center, and one on the right. And you'll need 6 of those. So I'm just going to add those in to the tops of the paper bags. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. All right, so we have our top pull-out pages. Now we're going to want to make our tags. I just used, oh, let me show you that punch I used for my tab. Pardon me. It's this one here, and it makes a 2-inch punch. And then, like I said, you just cut them in half. And I got this at the Paper Studio quite a while ago. But I use it a lot for my pull tabs. Okay, so the tags, I've already created 3 of them, but you're going to need 4. And these are the dies I used. I used my largest tag die and then my second largest to create the mat that goes on top. Okay, so you're going to need 4 of these, 4 of the large in the white cardstock. And then if you want to mat both sides, you'll need 8 in the second largest. Okay, and I got these I think on Amazon, and I will post a link below if they're still selling them. But you can use any tag, you know, any tag style you want. I'm just showing you how I made mine. So you're going to need 4 tags. Let's go ahead and make one together. I've already matted this back one here, so I'm just going to mat the front. Just put a little bit of glue on it. And then I'm going to use more of that pink ribbon. You could, like, I matted both sides on this one, and this album here, I'm pretty sure I matted both sides. But on my first album, which you can also do, I just matted one side, and then the other side I stamped on it so they could use it for journaling. So it's entirely up to you how you want to do your tags. Okay, so because my ribbon is 7/8, almost an inch wide, I just want to create a larger hole. So I'm going to go ahead and get my punch out and just punch a bigger hole for that. I'm going to feed through some of that pink ribbon. Oh, actually, I think I had a piece cut somewhere. Maybe I used it. Yeah, I think, no wait, let me make sure it's not sitting here somewhere. Nope, I definitely used it. So I'm just gonna pull this through. To about where I want it, a little bit over where I want it, and just cut that off. pull this back up. I always stock up on a bunch of this ribbon, this 360 Celebrate It ribbon when they have it on sale. I just love it. Okay, so I'm going to pull this back. I'm going to add a tiny dab of hot glue right here. And I'm going to flip that up. Just press it down. I'm going to do the same thing on this side. Tiny dot of hot glue. Press it down. I'm going to take some of this twine that I have. Cut a piece off. Probably cut way more than I needed, but wrap it around the pink ribbon. Make a knot. And then I'm going to create a bow. I'm going to fix this bow right here. And then to ensure that this does not come apart, the bow doesn't come apart, because my twine is kind of like has a little waxiness to it so that it doesn't fray. I'm just going to pull this bow up a tiny bit. Add the tiniest dab of hot glue underneath. And then press that bow right down. And then that way I know it's not going to open up. Trim off the edges. And then I'm going to go ahead and create those banner cuts again. And I usually cut the front one a little bit shorter than the back. So it looks like that. And you're going to do that to all 4 of your tags. And we'll go through and decide what pocket we're going to put what tag in right now. That looks good on that one. So I'll use this green one here. And nope. This one here. And the pink one here. Alright, so our tags are done. Now we want to make the pull-out flip pages. And this will get 4 more photo mats for whoever is getting this album, if you're making it for yourself or whatever. Okay, so you're going to need, let me put this aside. I've already gone ahead and done 3 of mine, but you're going to need 4 pieces of white cardstock, and this measures 12 inches. Let me get my exact measurements here. 12 inches by 4 1/4, and you're going to want to fold them in half at 6 inches. You can score them at 6 inches or just fold them over. It's entirely up to you. I just kind of fold mine over and then run my bone folder over it. So you're going to need 4 of these flip pages for your pockets. And then I took my corner rounder and I rounded all my edges. I'm going to close that up and round the top here. And then for your mats, you're going to need 16 mats, because you figure you have 4 of these and you're going to have 4 mats on each side. You don't have to. You can leave the inside blank if you want. It's up to you. But I covered all of mine. So you're going to need 4 of these that measure 12 by 4 1/4, folded at the 6-inch mark. And then you're going to need 16 photo mats that measure 5 3/4 by 4 inches. Try and center your mat as best you can. And it'll leave you a nice white border all the way around. So I matted the front. I'm going to mat the back. And then we're going to do the inside. So this album altogether holds 40 plus photos, and nice size photos. Once we put our photo mats in, because after we do the booklets, we're going to stick those in the pockets, and then we're going to put photo mats on our pages, which you don't have to do. I just like to. Okay, and we're going to mat top piece here. And that's it. And I have 4 of those booklets already made up. And I'll just show you them real quick. And now we can decide, oh, let me pull the book back. I stick these in with the pockets. So I'll probably put this one here. This one here. This will look good here, I think. Or should I do, yeah, I don't want to do that because these 2 pages are kind of the same. And this one can go right here. Okay, so now what's left to do on this album, like you said, some of them have the full white cardstock mats, some of them have the double. So on my first page here, this one, I put a full mat. You're actually going to need 3 of those. And these the larger white mats measure 4 by 6. And you'll need 3. And I place those kind of in the center, and then that way I can put a sentiment on top, or I can put one on bottom. I can decorate it on the corner. I'm not sure how I'm decorating this one yet. But on this one I put my sentiment up top. So you'll need 3 of these, and then you're going to need, for the double, this page here, we're going to do a double mat. You're going to need 6 of these, and these measure 4 by 3. And actually, for the white mats, I like to use my double-sided tape. So I'm just gonna put that there. Okay, so our cover, we have our pocket, insert, insert, full mat page, double. We have our pocket. I'm going to flip your pages. We're going to full mat this side. Again, my mat is 4 by 6. You guys can do whatever you want. I'm just sharing with you how I made this album. Again, when you mat the full mat, you kind of want to leave the same amount on the bottom and the top. So full mat there, and then on this side we're going to do the double mats. Okay, then we're going to flip our page. We have our pocket page again, so we're going to put a full mat on this page. And then, of course, our very last page here, we're going to do the double mats, which I'm not going to do because you guys already know how to do that. And then we have our back page. And that's it, guys. That's how I created these paper bag albums. I'm not sure how I'm decorating this yet, so I'm going to leave that for a little while. But that's how I created these top-loading paper bag albums. If you guys have any questions, let me know. Thank you again so much for watching, and I hope you give these a try because honestly, they're super simple and they're basic and it's easy. If you gift them, you could actually stamp a little camera on these if you wanted and say place photo here so that whoever you're gifting them to will, you know, especially if they don't know anything about scrapbook albums. I get a lot of questions on that. They'll know where to put their photos, you know, especially if they're not into scrapbooking. Okay, so if you have any questions, let me know. Thank you guys so much for watching. You take care and happy crafting.